When this happens, you will become the wealthiest in your family. If you hold XRP, there's some key details we need to talk about for what's happening on the charts right now, what's about to happen next for the global macro market cycle, what's taking place for Bitcoin right now, and we're comparing Bitcoin's market dominance to the rest of the altcoin market and when we're expecting this market cycle to top out at. Some key news for Google, and then what to do to prepare so you could be able to make more money than ever before and become the first millionaire in your family tree. So if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by commenting 777 below if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish, and take the like button, grab your putter, tap it in, give it a tippity taparoo. We're doing it for grandma because we're going to beat the SEC and we're buying her house back with XRP. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So looking at the crypto bubbles on the day, we can see, Avalanche is up, Injective is up, Solana's up, CFX is up. The rest of the markets are down. We're seeing another pullback. So as we work our way through this consolidation phase right now, Bitcoin just hovering right around 42K, we have to talk about what this means for the rest of the market, what this means for XRP, and also where we're going to go next and what you can do to prepare. Because in the macro, this is going to be a massive, massive bull run. Lots of millionaires are going to be made. You guys are going to be some of them, but you need to know what to do in the short term and how to manage your emotions as well too, because in the midterm, there's pullbacks on the way up. Every single cycle we see retests of key support levels, and the next support level that we're seeing right now is looking like we're going to $30,358. Now, could that happen? Let's discuss it, because no Bitcoin cycle mid-top has ever, keyword ever, been made without a revisit to the monthly least squared moving average. Now, this number is increasingly steady, but price has come nowhere close to the always tested support. This and many other long-term data observations continue to line up in this area. In rare examples, even in 2019, it tested this moving average as support without the black swan event, which has usually broken below healthy support levels. And many have been quick to say the low is in, but not enough data supports that. And the estimate based on CryptoCon on Twitter is saying that a move to the low of 30K by February or March. Now, if we look back in 2013, you can see the 2012 mid-cycle top. It was a 618 retracement. We pulled back down to the least squared moving average, and then we rebounded off of that. And that's after that took place is when we saw the most parabolic price action in altcoins, and the market just ripped through the roof after that. 2016 mid-top, we did a 618 retracement. We did a support test right after that to the least squared moving average. And then right after that is when we saw the most money and liquidity flow into altcoins. Then in 2019, the mid-cycle top, we did a 618 retracement. Then we came back down to retest the least squared moving average, rebounded off of that. And we were supposed to go into a parabolic bull run, but black swan event hit, brought us well below that. But then we ripped on out of there after Donald Trump signed the CARES Act into law, and it was over $2 trillion flowed in the crypto market. We formed high, and then the bear market hit. Now that we're above the least squared moving average, we did a 618 retracement. Could it be possible that regardless of fundamental analysis, news in the media, and everything that's happening with Bitcoin ETFs and institutions coming in, that the markets just do what they've always done? Is that possible? And is it more important to look at the charts? So if this type of stuff bores you guys, good. You need to see this more than anyone else out there, because when we look at fundamental analysis, stuff like this, well, in January, Google is going to update their cryptocurrency and related products policy to clarify the scope and requirements for the advertising of crypto coin trusts. So beginning tomorrow, in the next 24 hours, advertisers offering crypto coin trusts targeting the United States are allowed to advertise those products and services when they meet the following requirements and are certified by Google. Now, this is pretty interesting because Google is the biggest advertising network in the world. It's 2 times bigger than the second biggest, which is in Facebook and IG. Facebook owns Instagram. So Bitcoin ETFs can start advertising on Google starting tomorrow. So this is super bullish news, but is it really that bullish in the short term? Because the ETFs getting approved should have been the most bullish news to send Bitcoin past its all-time high, right? Institutions coming in, BlackRock, they own the media, they own over $20 trillion assets under management. And that wasn't even enough to push the entire altcoin market cap back above $2 to $3 trillion. So is the fundamental news really that important? Or should we just be looking at the charts here? In my opinion, guys, which is not financial advice, again, don't buy, don't sell anything we talk about on this channel. Go consult your financial advisor. All of what I'm sharing with you is educational purposes only. And then if I give you any price predictions, it's just an example of what's happened in the past and based on data on the charts. So in my opinion, I think technical analysis is more important because the markets have always done what they've always done. And until it's proven otherwise, then it's going to continue to do that. So once it's proven otherwise, then we can revisit this conversation here. And so what are the markets doing? Well, they move based on Bitcoin's 4-year halving cycle, where we can see from top to top, it's been roughly 1,400 days. And from top to top, 1,400 days. If we measure from bottom to bottom, about 1,400 days. And so 4-year market cycles. Now from top to bottom, it's about 1 year. From bottom to top, it's about 3 years. And so if we were to measure from top to top, where would the top be in for the end of this bull run cycle? And where would the top be at based on the Fibonacci retracement tool? Well, if we look right around here, if we measure from the bottom to the top, that would put us around September of 2025. So the tail end of 2025, right around here. Now, we could top before it, we could top after it. It's relative. It doesn't mean it's going to be exact, but it's going to be somewhere around this area right over here, the tail end of 2025. Now, if we were to draw resistance from the top of bull run cycle of January 2018 to the top of November 2021, and we also draw the Fibonacci retracement from the high to the low, if we were to do a 4.236 extension, that would put the total market cap of Bitcoin and all altcoins roughly around $10.3 trillion. So roughly around $10 trillion, I think is possible. And also that would bring us right towards this upward trending resistance line right here. Now, very interesting. If we look at the past, if we would draw the Fibonacci retracement from the high of January 2018 to the low of December of 2018, we pulled a 4.236 extension to nearly $3 trillion. So the likelihood of this happening again, I think is very high, considering these institutions are priming the markets with these ETFs. It's just so early that liquidity hasn't all been ready to flow into the markets. Once you start seeing, and retail hasn't entered in the markets, this money coming in the markets, guys, is really from crypto people and institutions. It's not from retail, mom and pop, grandma and grandpa and your cousins. It's not from them. They're not in the markets yet. And Google Trends would confirm that, showing that most people have not been researching crypto. They still don't even know what's going on with Bitcoin. If you ask someone like, hey, have you heard about Bitcoin recently? They're like, not really. Towards the tail end of 2025 is when we're expecting that. Now, what will that look like for XRP? What will that look like for Bitcoin's market dominance? Because if we see these vertical white lines right here, the first one is on the 1st of January 2018. The next one is on the 1st of November of 2021. And then the one right here that has yet to happen is on the 1st of September of 2025. So these vertical white lines are the peaks of the altcoin market right here and where Bitcoin's market cap dominance percentage was. Now, for those of you that are new to the market, what this means is Bitcoin's market cap dominance that you can see on coinmarketcap.com right here that says dominance shows what percentage of the total industry market cap Bitcoin holds. For example, if the market cap of the whole industry is $1.62 trillion across all projects, over 2 million cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin holds 50% of that, well, you can take 1.62 trillion times that by 0.508, and that would give Bitcoin a market cap of $800 billion. So if we go over here to the chart, well, what happened at the peak of the markets? Bitcoin's dominance was dropping. As you guys can see, during the entire bull run, Bitcoin's dominance was going down. Why was that happening? Well, it was because people realized that you cannot create generational wealth in Bitcoin. You could if you bought Bitcoin below $1,000, or below $10,000, but with Bitcoin at $40,000 for this bull run cycle, Bitcoin's not going to pull a 50x, 100x. It's just not going to happen unless $50 trillion, $100 trillion flows in the market. this time around, but the likelihood of that happening is most likely not going to happen because a full extension of 4.236 is only $10 trillion. And so looking at this downward trending resistance right here, if we see Bitcoin's dominance do the exact same thing that it did the past few market cycle tops, then the previous one before this brought Bitcoin down to about 41% dominance. The previous one before that, Bitcoin was all the way down to 35% of a $760 billion market cap at the peak, right? If we look right here in January of 2018 at the peak of the market cap was around $760 billion. And so if we come back here, Bitcoin held 35% of that. So Bitcoin's market cap was around $266 billion, around $760 billion. Then what happened during the bear market, right? Bitcoin's dominance went up and went upwards of 70%. People started moving money into stablecoins and Bitcoins, and altcoins got absolutely destroyed. So during a bear market, it's safer to have your money in stablecoins, cash, and potentially Bitcoin. If you still want to have a percentage of your portfolio allocated to the crypto market, you would want to hold Bitcoin during a bear market. But honestly, you probably don't even want to hold Bitcoin during a bear market. It might make sense to be like having treasuries or, cash reserves and stable coins that you could stake at a 5% APY. That makes more sense. And then earn interest off of, treasuries. And then during the bottom, that's when you start allocating your cash on the sidelines back into the market. That's what the smart investors have done. Now, right here, if we look on November of 2021, Bitcoin's dominance came all the way back down within this zone of support that you can see in this red rectangle, this massive red rectangle right here. And it was at about roughly 41% at the peak of the market. It did dip down even lower. It did dip down to 39%. But let's just say for the peak of the market right here, 1st of November, 2021, we're looking right here at the top, 1,400 days after the January 18th top. Well, Bitcoin had about a $1.2 trillion market cap. I think it was a little bit above that, but altcoins peaked out after Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dropped even lower. So Bitcoin had a $1.23 trillion market cap. It held 41% of $3 trillion back at the end of 2021. Now, if we were to do something like that again, and we see Bitcoin's dominance roll around and come down during this entire bull run, what would that mean? Well, that would mean altcoins are absorbing more of the total market cap than Bitcoin would be doing. So if we dip back down within this range around September of 2025, and Bitcoin, let's just say, does a 40% of $10 trillion, well, that would put Bitcoin's market cap at around $4 trillion. Now, to figure out what would that put Bitcoin's price at, and then what would that put the rest of the altcoin market cap at, is we take the $4 trillion market cap and we divide that by the circulating supply. So I've already done that for you guys, and I put that up here. And also we'll put the Fibonacci retracement tool, and then we'll see where Bitcoin could extend to based on a 4.236. So if we did 40% of $10 trillion, Bitcoin's dominance would be 40%. Ethereum and all altcoins would hold 60%, which would be $6 trillion. Then Bitcoin would have a $4 trillion market cap. And so all we would do is we take $4 trillion, multiply that by 0.40, and that would give Bitcoin a price target of $200,000 for example purposes only. Now, Bitcoin could go lower than that. It could go higher than that. Obviously, anything's possible. But interestingly enough, call this God math, call this just simple geometry. This isn't even algebra here, okay? Anyone could do this. You just pull out your calculator. You're doing simple addition, division, and multiplication here. We all learned this in like 7th or 8th grade. Well, if we draw the Fibonacci retracement tool from the high of November 2021 to the low of November 2022, a 4.236 extension would be about $239,000, almost $240,000. A 3.618 would be around $200,000. So if Bitcoin does $200,000, what I would expect to happen is I would expect the news and the media companies to be blasted with price predictions of Bitcoin's going to $500,000, Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Everyone, guys, and their grandmothers are going to be piling into Bitcoin right here at the exact top just like they piled into Bitcoin at the 4.236 extension back here at the exact top, just like everyone piled into Bitcoin at the extension before that at December at the exact top back here, I would expect the same thing to happen. And so in the long term, we're super bullish. Now, what would that be from right here? Well, if we take, $40,000 and we multiply that by 5, that brings us exactly to $200,000. So Bitcoin in this bull run cycle, I think will perform a 4, 5, maybe a 6x. I don't think Bitcoin's doing a 10x this cycle. By 2030, I think Bitcoin could be $500,000, $1 million. And then beyond then is when we'd reach $1 million for Bitcoin. Now, does that mean you shouldn't hold Bitcoin? No, absolutely not. I think Bitcoin is nothing's a sure thing, but if you believe in crypto, one of the most sure things is Bitcoin. But another project that I'm super bullish on that I think will outperform Bitcoin when this happens and when what happens. Well, I'm going to share that with you on the chart, but is XRP. I think XRP is going to do very, very well towards the tail end of the bull run. So you still are very, very early. Now, I brought up this chart in previous videos. This is XRP to Bitcoin's price chart, and it shows how XRP is performing relative to Bitcoin. And you see these key points on the chart right here. Number 1 was back in July of 2014. Number 2 was back in March of 2017. Number 3 was back in January of 2021. And number 4 is potentially coming up here soon. Now you can see another, rectangle of support that XRP dipped in within this range, underperforming Bitcoin. So what this means is during these periods, Bitcoin was doing well and XRP was underperforming in comparison to Bitcoin. So if we go to the XRP to the US dollar price chart, let's compare this to what was happening during the Bitcoin price chart. So back here, point number 1 was July 1st of 2014. Now, if we go back here and we look at July 1st of 2014, XRP was all the way down at 0.003 after seeing a sell-off from the high of 6 cents. XRP dropped over 95%. Then once the XRP bottomed out, you can see this massive wick to the downside right over here. XRP rallied up over 900% and pulled a 9x in just 150 days to nearly 3 cents. Then we saw XRP see another sell-off all the way down to the next point, which dropped at about 80+%. We can even see this wick down here at nearly 90%, but this took about 820 days for XRP to drop over 80%. And during that time period when XRP rallied and pulled a 9x, you can see XRP outperform Bitcoin to the upside, but then we saw another sell-off for XRP come all the way back down to retest this support range and drop 95% in comparison to Bitcoin. Then what happened after that? Well, XRP rallied from 0.005 and it pulled a 55,000% growth. And so did over, a 500x. And so it rallied massively to the upside, but then we became drastically overvalued. This is the all-time high at above $3. You can see on the MACD, the MACD line in blue was above the signal line. Then once it crossed right here on the 1st of June of 2018, that signaled the bear market, the downtrend. XRP was going to see a massive amount of profit taking for the people who bought XRP all the way back here before and prior to the 1st of March of 2017 below a penny. Imagine getting XRP below a penny. So is XRP undervalued, overvalued right now, or valued right at the right price? And what's about to happen next? Well, as you guys can see, when the MACD crossed on XRP to the US dollar price chart right here on the 1st of June of 2018, and XRP was roughly at 54 cents. Then it dropped all the way down to about 12 cents. So going back to Bitcoin, well, what happened? You can see XRP drastically outperformed Bitcoin to the upside. And then we saw a sell-off to point number 3. It dropped another 97%. And so it brought it back down within this zone of support right here, then rebounded out of this and shot to the upside again. And so what happened there? Well, the bottom was in, then XRP rallied up for the bull run of 2021, came upwards of $1.80. As you guys know, the lawsuit versus the SEC, Ripple versus the SEC hit, and that's what brought XRP back down to about 17 cents and created this symmetrical triangle right here. And so we bounced off of that in 2021. We came up in here, and XRP's just been trading sideways. We haven't seen any parabolic price action to the upside compared to Bitcoin, and we haven't seen that big of a sell-off to the downside. But a key support just broke for the XRP to the Bitcoin price chart to the downside. And if XRP continues to underperform in comparison to Bitcoin, we could potentially come back down to this zone of support like we did for number 3, number 2, and number 1. Now, every single time in the past when this has happened, we've seen a rebound out of this, and XRP has gone absolutely parabolic in comparison to Bitcoin. Now, I know you're wondering, where could that bring us in the short term on the price chart for XRP before we see a rebound? Well, if we were to draw these key zones of support right here, one of these zones is roughly at 45 cents for this upward trending support. If we draw from March of 2020 to, January 2023, that could bring XRP all the way down to 45 cents, potentially 40 cents right here. The zone below that is roughly 33 cents, all the way down to about 30 cents. Now, if we see that happen for XRP and we see us come back in this zone of support compared to Bitcoin, and XRP sees any type of shakeout event leading into Bitcoin it's having, if this happens, I personally am going to be backing up the truck more than ever before and loading up on XRP. Now, right now, I'm not buying XRP. I'm not selling XRP. I'm just holding for the long term. But looking on the MACD, the last time that we saw a cross in the MACD line below the signal line was back in January of 2022 after the market cycle high was in for the 2021 bull run. The time before then was the 1st of June of 2018 after we saw the high of 2018. Now, on the other side of the scale, below the zero line, we saw the MACD cross above the signal line, which signaled that we were going into a bull run. Now, the last time we saw that was the 1st of June of 2023, where the MACD line in blue crossed above the signal line, which signaled that we're going into a bull run. And similar to one of my previous videos where I talked about the breakout for Chainlink, the larger and the longer the base, the higher in space we could go. And so we've been here for about 579 days for XRP, just slowly grinding upwards from 29 cents to currently 52 cents right now in this macro symmetrical triangle. And on the RSI, the relative strength index, we're sitting at about 49 right now in this descending triangle. And in a descending triangle pattern, there's a string of lower highs that forms the upper resistance line, and the lower line is a support level in which the price cannot seem to break. So on the relative strength index, you can see this descending resistance, this upper trend line right here, and we see this horizontal support line right here at roughly 43 on the RSI, and it hasn't seemed to break. Now, if XRP underperforms in comparison to Bitcoin, I would expect the RSI to potentially come back down to retest this horizontal support and something to give this year around Bitcoin's halving. Now, coincidentally enough, the lawsuit with the SEC is going to be settled around April, where Ripple is just going to have to pay a fee and they can go about doing business as usual. And so until that happens, I would expect, and again, like I say, I could be wrong here, I would expect XRP to bleed out to the downside in comparison to Bitcoin to potentially come all the way down for the 4th time to this zone of support for the XRP to the Bitcoin price chart, for the RSI to come down one final time to this horizontal support around 43, for the XRP to the US dollar price chart to fill one of these zones of support, to fake everybody out, and then for us to blast on out of here at the tail end of 2024. And the reason why is because on the MACD, we saw the MACD line cross above the signal line just recently on the 1st of June of 2023, which is signaling that massive amounts of liquidity is about to flow into the market. The time before then we saw this exact same thing happen was in September of 2020, and XRP saw a 700% price growth even while they were going through the lawsuit. So imagine that. XRP performed a 7x with no legal clarity and the potential of them losing the lawsuit. They still saw a 700% growth. So imagine when this lawsuit is finally over, XRP has the legal clarity that they need. Not only that, but it'd be the only other cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin to have legal clarity in the United States, along with the entire altcoin market cap potentially growing upwards of $10 trillion, along with Bitcoin's dominance dropping to 40% of that, along with the 4-year global liquidity cycle. You can clearly see below that we bottomed out in 2023 and now we run through 2025. And also their planned projected gross debt by 2030 is over $50 trillion. Right now we're at like $34 trillion. So it's almost going to 2x the amount of liquidity out there in the markets. So if we were to draw the Fibonacci retracement tool from the all-time high for XRP to the low of March of 2020, If we did a 4.23 extension, where could that put XRP by September 2025? Well, that could potentially be around $13.60. So if we were to measure from where we are right now, that would be about 2,500% or a 25x. Now, let's say if XRP underperforms in comparison to Bitcoin over the next few months going into April, and let's say we come all the way back down to 30 cents, and for XRP to pull a 4.236, that would put it about a 43x, which is a 4,300%. So guys, can you see why we've been making videos about XRP every single day? I know it's exciting to see narratives like gaming, like artificial intelligence, and other sectors of crypto explode while you're sitting there holding your XRP bag, wondering when is XRP going to do anything. Believe me, I feel your guys' pain. It's frustrating. It's hard to be patient, but when in doubt, zoom out, because together we're going to be backing up our truck all the way to the bank, grabbing the bags, packing them, stacking them, leaving no bags left behind, because we believe the spending power of the dollar is going to continue to go down in value. That's a fact based on inflation. They're going to keep printing money. So you know what that means. Blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, and cryptocurrencies are going to go up in interest. That's the truth. And together, we're going camping on the beaches of the moon. So I will see you guys on the next video. I will see you on bullrunners.com, the link in the description below, where you'll discover our top altcoin picks first before we make these videos about them. And you'll get early bird access to our financial education platform when that's released. Do this right now. Go to Bull Runners, guys. Put in your best email address on the page. It's free. You'll get daily news because we like to give you the best information to help you prepare for the worst that's yet to come in this economy. You're going to get free access to our Telegram group, and you'll be notified first on the early bird list. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you on bullrunners.com. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.